See this beautiful face? That's how I felt when we started this entire design process for our house. Now you guys know that we successfully built the world's highest performance tiny house on wheels, the Tiny Lab. But I'm just here to tell you, building a tiny house, I suspected this already, I knew this, but it was so much more true than I imagined. Building a tiny house is nothing like building a real house, and it starts with the foundation. I have discovered why it's so hard to get builders to pay attention to the performance metrics of the invisible dynamics that are going on in homes. And it's because this process of just getting a building started so that it's sitting on ground that is hard enough, and that's where the performance side of the soil comes in. That's why we had to hire a geotechnical engineer. So hard that it's hard to pay attention to anything aside from that. So we're already 3 weeks behind. We're already $10,000 over budget from the soil that we had to bring in. You can see over here we've got rocks. You can see here my machines. Rents is a skid steer, and this is called a trench roller. You use those to bring in the nice dirt and also compact it effectively. So I've got over there, that's 4 truckloads of gravel. It's called 57 stone. Don't worry about why they call it that. I also trucked in about 15 truckloads of nice dirt. It's called fill dirt. It's all uniform. That is what went into this hole so that we could get it where it is today. Now, it is wintertime, and I thought that wintertime would be a nice time to build because it's not so hot and there's not so many bugs. But when it rains, which it does in Atlanta, it takes forever to dry out. So it rained like 2 nights ago, a little bit last night, but it's still pretty wet and it's gonna take a while to dry out. Also, just a quick note on the number of mistakes that I have made on this. You can see over there on the tree, I put the permanent markers of what grade. The top line is the driveway that I'm standing on right here. The bottom line is where we're trying to get to. We're basically there, but I'm within like 4 inches up and down. And that's because we had to keep compacting this because that's what the geotechnical engineer specified, so that we could get it to be, the soil to be performing at a level where the entire foundation would settle at the same rate so that the whole house sinks as one instead of one corner leaping down. Now, I scheduled things horribly. It's really hard to estimate soil, apparently, and I'm proof of that. So I kept on calling my soil supplier and saying, hey, can you send me one more truck, 2 more truckloads? And we thought we were done every single time. And I spread the last load myself the other day, and we found out, number 1, it's not enough. Number 2, they came out today to stake it out and start, you can see the stakes in the ground here, and start putting the forms together, and we found out that this pad is actually the wrong size, and that's because I'm the one who staked it out initially and then verified, double-checked my numbers, but apparently, you know, just like I always say, sometimes I'm an idiot. This is my first time doing this, and so it's like, this is why you hire professionals to work with you. Also, partly because they are the ones that take the stress, and they don't tell you about the stuff that goes wrong. And part of that is like, it's not always good to do that, right? The stress is there for a reason so that you make the decisions that are hard decisions to make. But also, it just kind of kills your soul to be looking at this every day through your front door, which is right there, and see that it's not done and you're not even started. And it's gonna start snowing in about a month. So, all that to say that we are paying attention to the performance all the way through this process, just like I'm always preaching, but also it's very hard to do this. And that's why hardly anybody actually does it. A lot of people talk a good talk, but doing it is very painful because you have to start here. So stay tuned. Next time I see you, hopefully we will have something to show you. The first thing that needs to happen is those 2 trees need to disappear because they're actually inside of where the building is going to be. So this is how I feel now. Do it again. Ah! Exactly. All right. Stay tuned.